First at 5, we are getting new information today about the attack on a hospital nurse that left her critically injured.
That's right. This is a case we have been tracking closely since the attack 1 week ago. WPTV's Jamie Ostroff has been digging into new statements and the action just taken in court. Jamie, what can you tell us today?
Yeah, lots of new insights today, Todd. I'll walk you through each of them, beginning with one of the biggest questions that many of us have been asking. That is, how was a patient who had been identified as a danger to himself and others not at a facility that was equipped to handle that type of case? HCA Florida Palms West Hospital is not a Baker Act receiving facility, but Stephen Scantlebury was a Baker Act patient. Well, HCA Florida told me today that Scantlebury had driven himself to the hospital with another complaint not related to his mental health. The hospital could not tell me what that issue was because of patient privacy laws, but they said that is why he was admitted. Now, according to the spokesperson I talked to, once Scantlebury was evaluated at Palms West, the provider there decided he needed to be Baker Acted. But before Scantlebury could be taken to a Baker Act receiving facility, he needed to be treated for his medical issue. The spokesperson telling me Scantlebury was not waiting for a psychiatric bed to open up in a receiving facility. Now, again, in order to place someone under the Baker Act, they need to be deemed a threat to themselves or others. And Scantlebury's arrest report said he had been acting paranoid for 2 days before he allegedly leapt from the hospital bed and brutally beat the nurse, Lilama Lal. Now, I am still working to get to the bottom of what steps were or were not taken to protect the people in the hospital. But the hospital is addressing questions today about how its CEO reacted to the attack. My colleague Kate Hussey shared 911 audio with you Monday in which Palms West's CEO can be heard telling a dispatcher, quote, "I am not concerned about that part," referring to the unconscious nurse who had just been attacked. HCA releasing this statement regarding that comment on the call, saying in part, quote, "Immediately after the attack, our primary focus was on providing care to our injured colleague and getting her to our hospital's emergency department. After ensuring she was getting the life-saving care she needed, our CEO, who is a trained paramedic and assisted in providing initial care, called 911. To be clear, the purpose of the call to 911 was to quickly notify the police of the immediate threat and to make sure the attacker was captured and did not hurt anyone else." We also had some developments in court today. A risk protection order was filed in Scantlebury's case today, so he will not have access to firearms for at least the next 2 weeks. Scantlebury pleaded not guilty yesterday to a second-degree attempted murder charge with a hate crime enhancement. There is a hearing scheduled for tomorrow in which the judge will consider whether Scantlebury should remain in jail until his trial. Prosecutors argue Scantlebury is a danger to the public, where the defense is saying he should not be sitting in jail away from the mental health care that he needs. We also received an update on the victim's condition today. We are told that Lal is doing a bit better, but she did have to be put back on a ventilator as she continues to recover. Todd, Megan.
Thank you, Jamie.